Benny Bear and Ruby Rabbit and the Ice Palace. A week into winter, Benny Bear and Ruby Rabbit woke to find Pinecone Forest shining brighter than ever. The trees glittered with ice crystals, and sunlight danced across the snow like diamonds. Ruby rubbed her eyes. Benny, what's that sparkling over there? Across the frozen meadow, mysterious ribbons of light shimmered and swirled, forming a path of frost glow through the trees. Benny's fur bristled with excitement. Only one way to find out. The frozen path. They followed the shimmering trail deeper into the forest, past icicle-covered pines and frozen stream banks. Each step crunched gently beneath their paws. Suddenly, Ruby gasped, "Benny, look!" There, rising from the snow like a dream, stood a palace carved entirely from ice. Towers sparkled, windows glowed pale blue, and snowflakes drifted around it in perfect swirling patterns. Benny blinked. It's like winter built itself a castle. Inside the ice. The doors gently opened as they approached, welcoming them in. Inside, the walls glittered like crystal. Snow squirrels skated across glass-smooth floors, and tiny frost fairies danced in the air, leaving sparkling trails. A shimmering snow hare appeared wearing a crown of icy twigs. "Welcome, warm-hearted friends," she said kindly. "This palace appears only when the forest needs joy. You brought laughter to our snow so you may visit." Ruby's eyes sparkled. "It's beautiful, Kai," Benny whispered. "And chilly, but beautiful." They played ice tag, slid down crystal slides, and watched snow lanterns float like stars indoors. Every moment felt like magic caught in frost. While a frosty farewell. When it was time to go, the snow hare bowed. "Return whenever winter calls your hearts." Outside, the palace shimmered, then slowly faded into snowflakes drifting on the wind. Benny sighed happily. "Best winter surprise ever." Ruby nodded. "Winter's full of magic if we're brave enough to follow the sparkles." Benny Bear and Ruby Rabbit and the Blizzard Rescue. Thick grey clouds rolled over Pinecone Forest, and the wind began to howl. Benny Bear peeked out the window of his cozy den. "Ruby," he said, pulling his scarf tighter. "It looks like a big storm is coming." Ruby Rabbit, sipping warm carrot tea, nodded. "A blizzard for sure. We'd better stay inside." But just as she spoke, a tiny tapping sounded at the door. Tap, tap, tap. Benny opened it and a shivering little chipmunk tumbled inside, covered in snow. "Please," squeaked the chipmunk. "My burrow entrance froze over. I can't get back in." Ruby gasped. "Oh no, we have to help." Benny nodded firmly. "No one should be stuck in a blizzard. Let's go." Into the storm. Bundled in scarves and mittens, Benny and Ruby stepped into the swirling snow. The wind howled, but they leaned forward bravely, pushing through. "There," Ruby pointed. A snowdrift had nearly buried the chipmunk's burrow. Benny dug with his strong paws, scooping snow aside. Ruby chipped at the icy crust with her little paws. At last, the burrow door popped free. The chipmunk squealed with relief. Thank you, come inside for warmth." Shelter and sharing. Inside the tiny burrow, they sat by a glowing acorn lantern. The chipmunk shared warm hazelnut stew, and Benny and Ruby told funny snowstorm stories. Soon the blizzard outside softened to whispers. "You were very brave," the chipmunk said, "and kind." Benny smiled shyly. "We just didn't want you to be alone." Ruby nodded. "Winter is easier when we help each other." Home again. When the storm cleared, they headed home under a starry sky. Snow sparkled like sugar frosting across the forest. Benny grinned. "We make a great rescue team." Ruby winked. "Always." And side by side they padded home, warm hearts glowing against the winter night. Benny Bear and Ruby Rabbit and the hot cocoa cafe. After days of snowy adventures, Benny Bear and Ruby Rabbit woke to a crisp, chilly morning. The sun glittered on frosted branches, and the world looked like it had been dipped in sugar. Ruby stretched and sniffed the air. "Benny, do you smell that?" A warm, chocolatey scent drifted through the forest, rich and sweet. Benny's eyes widened. "It smells like cocoa." They followed the delicious aroma through the trees until they reached a clearing. There, glowing softly under icicle lights, stood a tiny wooden cottage with a sign. "Merry Moose's Hot Cocoa Cafe. Warm hearts welcome. Cups full of cheer." Inside, the cafe was toasty warm. Merry Moose, tall, gentle, and wearing a peppermint-striped apron, greeted them with a smile. "Welcome, friends. What'll it be? Marshmallow Mountain Cocoa, Cinnamon Snowflake Cocoa, Caramel Swirl Cocoa?" Ruby giggled. "All of them sound amazing." Benny rubbed his tummy. "Maybe we should start with Marshmallow Mountain." Merry Moose whisked warm milk, swirled chocolate, and topped each mug with fluffy marshmallows stacked like snow peaks. The cocoa steamed and sparkled with cocoa magic dust. Benny took a sip. This tastes like a warm hug." Ruby's whiskers twitched happily. "My toes aren't cold anymore." Sweet surprises. Animals filled the cozy room. Squirrels, hedgehogs, owls, even a shy fox. Everyone chatted, laughed, and shared winter stories. Then Merry Moose rang a tiny bell. "Cocoa toast time!" They all lifted their mugs. "To winter warmth, cozy hearts, and friends who share cocoa," Merry declared. "Cheers!" Everyone cheered. Happily warm. When Benny and Ruby finally stepped back outside, they felt warm from their ears to their paws. Ruby sighed happily. "Best cocoa ever." Benny nodded. "And best cozy day." They waddled home through the snow, smiling because sweetness shared is sweetness doubled.